Welcome to another episode of Hobbies My Wife Hates. Today we are going to paint the Benjamin York character for the Alien RPG Evolved Edition scenario, the Rapture Protocol. Benjamin York is the executive officer and the first miniature in this line of painting tutorials. So sit back, relax, watch the video, and I'll see you at the end. Okay. So today we're going to paint the first miniature from the Alien RPG Rapture Protocol box set. We're going to paint Benjamin York. He is the executive officer. We have primed him black, and then we're going to do a white dry brush. As with any dry brush, you take your paint, put it on your dry brush, and then wipe most of it off. We're doing this because we're going to be doing, using speed paints. And this allows the speed paints to create better shadows. And then we'll do his base. And the top of his head. And now we can see some of the detail in his clothing. It looks like he's wearing some kind of uniform shirt. His trousers, he's got a belt on. He's got a, looks like a full pocket here on the side of his pants. And like a baseball cap. Now that it's dry, we're going to paint his uniform. And for this, we're going to paint it runic gray. And it looks like this paintbrush might be shot. So we will get a new one. All right. Make sure we get the collar right. And then we do the trousers. Now it looks like he's got some kind of knee pads, and we're going to save those for another color. Perhaps a darker gray. Or who knows, maybe we'll go lighter on it. All right. It looks like we've got all of that done. And now generally I like to start with the biggest area to paint. In this case, it was his uniform, because it was both shirt and pants. But honestly, the biggest area is the base. So we're going to paint that with some enchanted steel. Let's just get that out of the way. And we'll now the speed paints, they work best if you paint them over white rather than black, which is why we dry brushed them. But the method that we're using is called slap chop. I don't know why they call it that, but essentially you prime it black and then dry brush it white. And the paint then sticks better. Well, I don't want to say sticks better, but the speed paint doesn't have to worry about getting into the deepest recesses because it's black and it creates natural shadows. All right. So while that base dries, we're going to work on the sleeves. For that, we're going to use Battleship Gray. All right. And we'll let those 3 areas dry. How do we help miniatures dry quicker? We use a blow dryer. Now that that's done, I want to do something with the base again. I want to put a wash down over it. In this case, we're going to use some dark tone on the base. And that's done. We'll let that dry a little bit. Now it's time to paint his shoes. And for that, his boots, his work boots. We're going to use Grim Black. Make sure we get all that boot area. All right. We got his boots done. And we'll let that dry. And while that's drying, we're going to work on highlighting the uniform. And for that, we're going to use some uniform gray over the uniform. I'm going to dry brush up so it gets all the pockets. All right. And then we'll go back and we will do his belt. And we're going to do the belt again in that matte black. I mean that Grim Black speed paint. We got a little bit on his uniform, so I'll have to go back and fix that. Let's get this belt, everything but the buckle, and now with that uniform gray, I'll go back and touch up things like the edge of the pocket. Maybe a sleeve a little bit. All right. And we'll do a touch up on that area where I got black onto his shirt. Okay. Next we'll take some of that enchanted that enchanted steel. And we'll do the belt buckle. And we'll let that dry. So now we gotta do the knee pads. So for the knee pads, we're gonna go back and use that Battleship Gray again. And we'll let that dry. Now, while that's drying, we're gonna paint his hat. I wanna use red on his hat. So like it's a non-uniform item. Like his favorite sports team or something. All right, so we'll get that hat. Get the brim. It's kind of hard to see, even though I'm wearing magnifying glasses. The brim is really hard to differentiate from the rest of the uniform. All right, we'll let that, while that dries, let's do some flesh. Here we're gonna use some Crusader skin. It's a good flesh color, unlike any speed paint. It goes right into the recesses, so it's not going to require any other flesh colors. We'll do his hands. And you know, apparently he's got some kind of t-shirt on underneath. So we're just going to do some red underneath there. All right. And then to do his hair. I'm going to give him brown hair. So for that, I'm going to use something called Ruddy Fur. And make sure we get the top of his head. And that's it for his hair. And we'll let that dry. We're just about done, so we're going to do some highlights here and there. The first highlight we're going to do is on his hat. For that, we're going to use Legendary Red. And we'll just do the top of the hat. And the brim. All right. All right. Then we're going to do a little highlight of the flesh using barbarian flesh. The chin, the nose, the brow, and the cheeks. We'll get the ear area, just because we didn't when we did the speed paints. Right. And with that, all we have to do now is do the trim on the base. Oh, we do want to do one other thing. The last highlight we want to do is I just want to do the sleeves with a white dry brush. And now we'll finish it up by finishing the base, and we'll be done. All right. And here we are, Benjamin York, the executive officer for the USCSS Fidenza for use in the Rapture protocol scenario for the Alien RPG Evolved Edition. Well, there you have it, another painting video from Hobbies My Wife Hates. This one was Benjamin York for the Rapture protocol scenario for the Alien RPG game. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'll see you again in our next video.